What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are, 12th consecutive green day. The green streak started before Christmas and it's continuing here into early January, but it is just finally picking up in the last 2 days with big green days. So the first 10 days of the green streak, I was averaging about 1,500 a day. A couple days above that, a couple days below it. And then yesterday, I made 9,000, gave back 2,300, finished up just about $6,500, which was great. Today, I actually went down 900 and then made back 6,500. So I'm finishing up right around 5,500. So, 2 days, $12,000, that is good. I can work with that. A couple more green days like this, and I'm gonna put a real dent in my January goal, which is $40,000. And, it's kind of the beginning of, beginning of the year, obviously. And I have this goal, for the end of the year of hitting at least $500,000. And I really want to make some progress here because, if I get a slow start, the further we get in, the higher I need to average each day. As of today, with about 250 days in the year, $2,000 a day average, it'll get me there. But if I have a month of, break even, and I've got 20 less days, then next thing you know, it's like I need to be averaging 2,500 a day, and then 27, and then 3,000, and then 4,000, and then eventually it's unrealistically high, and I'm gonna fall short on my goal. So this is the time to dig deep, really focus, try to build that cushion, because then once I have the cushion, I can afford to take a little risk on some good quality setups, and if a few of those pay off, boom, I'm gonna be up $250,000 before I know it. So gotta stay focused, all right? As usual, any questions on today's recap, leave them below, and we'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. All right, everyone. So we're going to do our midday market recap here, go over the trades from this morning. The stock market assassin is back, finishing the day up over $5,500, which is not bad. 6,500 yesterday, 5,500 today. $12,000, $13,000 in 2 days. That keeps the job away, and that puts a big dent in my January profit target, which is $40,000. Really need to be hitting $40,000 a month in order to get the $500,000 goal here for 2019. Finished last year with $499,000, just below $500,000, and I really want to break that this year. I want to continue to have every year being better than the last. That's how it's been since my second year of trading, and I want to keep that trend going. So, it's all about being here early in the year, trying to build that cushion. One of the things that was really nice about last year was that in the first month, I made almost $120,000. So I had such a big cushion to start 2018 that, it put me obviously in the driver's seat to the point where I was able to just, the stress was off. I was able to just kind of do my thing, get in the groove, and, it ended up being terrific. On the flip side, if you start a year really slow or you start a year in the red, it puts you behind the ball, and then you feel like you've got to scramble a little bit more, and that sort of act of scrambling puts you at a little bit more of a position of being desperate or being impulsive. And so you got to be very, very careful that you don't let a goal and the eagerness to hit a goal put you in a kind of, just a sort of negative mindset. So, every month I set a goal, just first of all, to be green. If I can be green, I'm happy. I was green 11 out of 12 months last year. But I had 2 months that were basically break even and then 1 red month. So I had 3 bad months last year and 9 really good months. If I could do that again this year, I'd be really pretty happy with that. I'd like to not have a red month this year. The last red month I had was in February of last year, so it's coming up on almost a year since my last red month, and like to put more than a year between me and a red month. So I've got my work cut out for me. I've got to be disciplined, especially in the first week of just building the profit, building my cushion, and then once I have the cushion, I can afford to take a little risk. Today I took a little risk, and it paid off. Yesterday I took a little risk. I actually made $9,000 yesterday, and then gave back 2,300, being a little aggressive. But $6,500 yesterday was still a great day. And today, I actually fell into the red. I was down about $900, SAEX, you can see right here. And then I bounced up out of the red and now I'm finishing up $5,500. So almost a $6,500 swing today from the low all the way to the high. And I'm going to finish today at high of day, finishing on a green trade, which is always a nice way to finish. So today, as you can see, those of you guys watching that see my screen share, I traded in 2 accounts. I traded in my regular trading account, and I traded in my IRA account. And guess what? Settlement margin is turned on, and that's why I was able to trade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stocks. And every time I press the sell button, my buying power returned. So those of you guys watching on Facebook, I'll just put this, show you my screen share. So that's $3,871 in my IRA. This morning I started with $3,000. I just made more than 10% in one day. That's more than most IRA accounts will make in all of, more than most made in all of 2018, that's for sure. And probably more than most will make in all of 2019. I did it in one day. Those were the 5 stocks I traded. Did lose almost $900. And here's the thing. In the IRA, now that I have settlement margin, I was able to get myself out of the hole. Before I had settlement margin, I would have just had to be down $900 on the day, and I wouldn't have had a chance to get that money back for 2 more days because of 2-day trade settlement. So that's my IRA account with Lightspeed, now up over 10% today. And then this is my account with Lightspeed as well, my regular trading account. It's not tax-free, up $1,699. And the balance on this account is now, let's see, we can go window, account value, was $52,000 this morning, so, or almost 53, so it'll be just under 55,000 tomorrow. So making some nice progress there. The big winner, WINR. You can see this stock here formed 2 really nice flag patterns right here and right here. Well, draw the line kind of crooked, but that's okay. So those were the 2 pullbacks right there. I traded the first one. The second one right here actually made almost a bigger move from $5 all the way up to $6.62. But I traded the first pullback right here. This is a bull flag pattern. And on that one in my IRA, I made $4,000. Took the trade also in my main account and made $766. Trying to trade is hard enough. Trying to trade in 2 accounts is really difficult. It's a lot of back and forth. The reason I'm doing it is there's obviously a huge advantage to me trading in the IRA because it's tax-free. I don't have to pay any taxes on the profits. Now, I can't take the profits out until I'm 59 and a half years old, you know, but it's saving for retirement. So, you know, tax-free, saving for retirement, those are good things. And I'm a little behind the ball. You know, I'm 33 years old and I've only got $30,000 in my IRA. And this is the only IRA that I have. So, you know, I am a little behind the ball on this, but I'm going to try to catch up a little bit and make up for lost time. So definitely trying to trade in that account as much as I can. Tax-free is a big win. But the problem is that I only have $29,000 of buying power. So I am somewhat restricted. On WINR, I was only able to take 4,000 shares when I got in right here at $4. Now, I would have loved to have been able to take maybe 8,000 or 10,000 because this was a really solid setup, but I simply couldn't afford to do it. So I took 4,000 shares on that account, and then I immediately switched to this one to try to press the buy button. And by the time I, was switched over and ready to take a trade, it was already up at 470, and I wasn't able to get filled. So I ended up buying in my main account actually at 455. I had orders that I tried to get in, and they got rejected. You can see right here. So this was ADIL. So WINR, I tried to get in at 455, 99, 81. Oh no, those are sell orders. Let me switch gears here. Here we go. I'm sorting it the wrong way. Tried to get in going into the halt, didn't get filled. It's halted. I trade up INPX, whatever. Coming out of the halt, I ended up adding at 455, trying to double. Don't get filled on my double. It moves too fast. But I was able to sell those 3,000 shares for $766 of profit, which was pretty nice. So I did well. I did okay on that account, but this is just sort of the challenge of trying to trade in 2 accounts at once. I want to trade in the IRA, but it cost me a little bit of money to trade here because I ended up missing maybe an opportunity to make more like $8,000 or even $10,000. You know, and so I suppose if I had made 10,000 over here, you know, after tax, you know, it's probably only 6,000. So, you know, making 4,000 here, well, I guess it's close enough. You know, it's good. And as this account grows, of course, I'll have more buying power. So, you know, it'll continue to be easier to take these trades. Even tomorrow, I'll have another $3,800 in buying power. It's just going to keep adding up. So huge advantage here. I'm actually the first person at Lightspeed to trade an IRA with settlement margin. I'm piloting it, and so hopefully it all goes well. But today was the first day, and it went great. I mean, it was perfect. It did everything it was supposed to do. It was just like day trading, a regular account, except my buying power is only 1 times, not 4 times. All right. So Lizzie, so here's the thing, Liz. You can't move, you can only move $6,000 into an IRA each year. That's it. That's the most you can move over. So I had to move over 18,000 into this account. I moved over 6,000 in 2017 when I started my $583 challenge. I took 6,000 of that profit and put it here. I took another $6,000 in 18 and put it here, and I just put another, or it was actually 5,517 in 18. And then 6,000 here in 2019. That's the restriction. I actually put the money into a traditional IRA account, and then I did a backdoor conversion to a Roth IRA. So anyways, you know, this account is a little smaller. And remember yesterday, I also had an issue even with my main account that my buying power was restricted on the CLPS trade. So I didn't have enough margin. I was only able to trade with my cash amount. I wanted to take 10,000 shares, but 10,000 times $6.20 is $62,000. And this account only has 52,000, or yesterday it was like 48,000. So, you know, having taken some money out at the end of the year, I've now had a couple times where it's caused me a little bit of an issue. I guess in the last 6 months, gotten used to having $100,000 in the account and trading with that type of size. So anyways, the account's growing. I'll be back up towards 100K before I know it, so I'm not going to sweat too much. Hopefully I'll be back there by the end of this month. If we continue to see days like this, it's going to happen real quick. All right, so why don't we go over the kind of watch list here for today as I was looking at it this morning. Again, guys, today is no different from any other day, really. This actually I thought was going to be a slow day. So I'm going to put up my chart or my scanners here for 9:25 a.m. So every single morning we look at these scanners, and this tells us where we have momentum in the market. Today you can see DCIX was one of the leading gappers. I'll move this around here so you guys can see. So DCIX, leading gapper, it's a shipping stock. I don't really like that sector. Those stocks don't really move very nicely. They're very choppy. So not interested in DCIX, TOPS, SHIP, GLBS, EC. Those are also shipping stocks, and I don't like to trade them. So nothing there. This one didn't have enough volume, too expensive, too expensive, too expensive. And then we have INPX. You'll note that I made $900 on INPX in my main account on one trade, and I took a different trade in my IRA and made $285. So in that case, I didn't take the same trade at the same time in 2 accounts. I took one trade on INPX, and then the second trade was in my other account. So let's look at that one first. INPX. All right, so this one you can see here, and those of you guys watching on Facebook, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube later this afternoon. So make sure you check out the YouTube channel and subscribe. And then when these videos get uploaded of my screencast and everything, you'll be able to see it. So INPX had a pre-market high of $5.10. Pulls back a little bit pre-market. Wasn't really sure it was gonna work, but first 5-minute candle squeezes up to 473. So I ended up taking a couple of different trades on this. I believe my first trade, let's see, let me just scroll up here. Yeah, my first trade on it was at 9:45, and that was, let's see, let me pull this back here. my first trade was right here. Okay, so I had seen it just squeeze up to a high of 457. It pulled back, and as it curled back up right here, I jumped in at actually 446 and 447, anticipating a second break over the $0.50. I took this account in my this trade in my IRA account in at 46 and 47, scalping it at 50, 50, and 52, selling a little more at 64 and 61. Not the biggest winner there, but you know, made a little bit on it. I'm not sure. I think I might have had one more trade on it. Nope, that was the only trade. So on that one there was 6,000 shares. I made $285. So a little bit of a small win there. It pops up to a high of 68 and then it pulls back. And then you can see it curls up here to 95. It does a 1 minute false breakout right here. And I'm going to talk about this in a second. This is a 1 minute false breakout, and this is a 1 minute false breakout. It's a false breakout because the stock squeezed up and then turned around and went red. It came back lower. But during that candle, it did squeeze up. And so during that candle, there was an opportunity to sell for a profit. This is something I always look at. If I'm holding a stock and I bought it a little high, I usually wait for the 1 minute micro pullback. And then as it squeezes up, I can either sell into that, you know, or if it ends up continuing, then that's even better. This was a 1 minute micro pullback that actually continued. So we'll look at this on another chart in a second. So anyways, it does a micro pullback here, and I decided to get back in right there. This one I took in my main account. I took 9,000 shares, stepped up to the plate a little bit here. Let's see, and at 95, 98, and 98. So 9,000 shares right here. It pops up to 515, and within a second, 5 seconds, I'm up over $1,000, and I go ahead and take my profit right in there and book $973. So 2 nice trades on INPX. Ends up hitting a high of $5.35. It does another sort of false breakout here, a little breakout there. So a couple little other opportunities, but I wasn't as aggressive on that there because during this trade, I was holding WINR in my main account, waiting for it to resume from the first halt. So I'll show you that one in a second. So INPX off the scanner or off the pre-market watch list, but that was the only one off the pre-market. Oh, SFET was the other one. So SFET, we were watching pre-market, had a pre-market high of 315 right here. The bell rings, it squeezes up to 45. The trade that I took on this was also a 1 minute micro pullback. It pops up to a high of 20 right here, and then it squeezes on that 1 minute micro pullback. I jumped in it in my my IRA account. It's getting confusing. I was in it at 320, but these orders didn't end up filling, and then I sold it at 30, and I guess that was it. So I made 10 cents on 1,600 shares, $163. That wasn't really a very big winner. Just kind of a small one, but whatever. So small win on that. And then the next trade I took was on SAEX, and this was in my IRA. SAEX this morning, actually it's squeezing up right now. Yesterday it was really strong. I did really well on it. It made this move from $2.50 up to $4. So, really solid move there. This morning it had sold off quite a bit. But when it started to squeeze up, I thought, no, you know what? It's strong. I'll give it a chance. And so it ends up squeezing up to 88, doing a 1 minute micro pullback right here. And I went ahead and jumped in at 68. So I bought this one at, actually, let's see, SAEX. I guess I just got in at 70. No, I got in at 66 and 70, so my average was 68. I even tried to take 9,000 shares, but it looks like I didn't fill. Wouldn't have been able to, well, no, I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, so I'm in this at 68, and it immediately drops. I mean, it just immediately drops here down to 37, and I stopped out at 51. So, took my $888 loss on it, and was just like, well, it is what it is. That's disappointing, but what can you do? So took the loss on that and went red on the day. My only trades at that point, SFET and then SAEX. So I was down, I guess, about 720 bucks. The next trade, INPX, made back 285. So now I was down like $450. And then I had the WINR trade right here. Let me just see if there was one other in this account first. Yeah, I tried to take SAEX in this account and I didn't get filled, I guess. WINR. Okay, so WINR was interesting. This one was not on our high day momentum scanner because it doesn't have a float listed in trade ideas yet. This is a company that recently changed its stock symbol, and sometimes when that happens, it won't be on scanners right away. So this morning, someone calls out in the room, hey, look at WINR. And I take a look at it and I was like, whoa, this thing just squeezed from a low of 275 all the way up to 450. That is a pretty big move. That actually looks a lot like CLPS from the other day, right? CLPS from the other day made this really big move from $4 all the way up to $8. And yes, it was on light volume, but it was still an impressive move. So when I saw that one, initially I was like, okay, this is interesting, but I can't buy it here. I need to wait for it to pull back. So it pulls back, as you can see. It drops down, it pops back up, it pulls back. And during this period of time, what pattern is it forming? This is a flag pattern. It's a wedge. And so what I always look for is the first candle to make a new high on that pattern. So we've got a green candle, a red candle, and a red candle. So what is the correct entry point on this pattern? The correct entry point is if a green candle here on the 1 minute chart breaks over the high of 410. All right, so 410 is the correct entry point. Now, with these types of stocks, they can move very, very quickly. And so what I often do, and I did this on several other trades today, is I anticipate that breakout. I know as soon as it breaks 410, there's gonna be a lot of people watching this and they're gonna be buying at 410, 415. They're gonna jump in with a 5-cent offset, 10-cent offset, whatever. So if I start to see volume come in, I start to see buy orders go through as it's getting close to the trigger price, then a lot of times I'll go ahead and take a starter leading into the breakout. And so that's what I did here. So in my IRA, I took 3,000 shares and pressed the button again. Boom, boom. I pressed it both within 1 second, but I only got a partial fill on my second order. I tried to add more. Well, actually, no. I put a sell order out and then canceled it. So no, I just took the 4,566 shares that I had at about 402. And it breaks, it squeezes up, it breaks the high of 410, which is what I expected. First target is high of day, 450. Max loss on this trade, unfortunately, was close to 350, 360. I mean, I knew that because the volatility on this one, that I was looking at bigger max loss. But I went ahead and took the trade. It squeezed up to 450. It breaks high a day and now hits 470 and is halted on a circuit breaker. I tried to switch over to my main account and take a trade in it there as well, and that's where I did not get filled. So now it's halted for 10 minutes on a circuit breaker halt because the stock moved up more than 10% in less than 5 minutes. It resumes from the halt in probably the worst way a stock can resume from a halt. It opens slightly lower. And it flashes for a second down to 369. The high of that 1 minute candle is 465 and the low is 369. That's a huge range. And so what I decided to do is wait for what? I waited for the first 1 minute micro pullback to resolve. Now my mental stop is certainly the low of the 1 minute micro pullback. If it had gone down and broken below 70, I would have had to go ahead and stop out. And that would have been a 30-cent loss on 4,000 shares. I would have lost $1,200 on it. So that would have been a decent size loss. But I gave it a second for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. And what happened? Right here, first 1 minute candle makes a new high. And this not only provides resolution for the trade I'm already in, this provides a low risk opportunity to take a position in my main account, which I take at 455. Again, the high of this red candle was 465. getting in 10 cents early. I was anticipating the break as I saw volume coming back in. So I'm in it at 455. I try to double. I don't get filled when I try to double. So I end up just taking the profit and selling those shares at 81. And let me just scroll down here. I sell those shares at 81, 99, and then the rest at 55. And the last trade in this account was a small trade on ADIL, which I'll show you in a second. All right, so in the main account, I made $766 with 3,000 shares. So that's about 23 cents. In my IRA account, I put out sell orders around $5 right here. And I got filled at, let's see, I put one at 515, then canceled it. Put one at 485, 495, and then sold the rest at 486 and 506. High was 506 as it squeezed up to a high of 515. Actually tapped 540. It went even higher, and then it started to pull back a little bit again. During this pullback, I said, guys, we want to keep this on close watch. This pattern right here is now forming another flag. So this is what the 5-minute chart looks like. The stock is squeezing up, and now it's pulling back just a little bit. So for those of you guys watching on Facebook, I'll just show you the chart for a second. So the stock squeezes up, it pulls back. I buy the first pullback. I sell as it squeezes back up, and now it's forming a second pullback. All right, so during this second pullback, I'm watching it, and what's the correct entry here? The first candle to make a new high, which would be a second break over $5. Watch what happens. From 5, it goes up to 566, and then it squeezes all the way up to a high of $6.62 before reversing and coming down lower. So on the 1-minute chart, we can see here, that's the resolution. It squeezes up there, it opens up, makes this nice move all the way up to a high of 662. That is a really nice breakout right there. Now, I ended up not taking that trade. The thing is, I had a little bit of a close call. You know, I held through a $1 whip in that candle that resumed from the halt. So I was a little bit gun shy about getting back in. I was in it down here, and I still almost lost money. So I was a little gun shy about getting back in here at, you know, $4.85, $5, thinking that it could drop back down, you know, just as quickly. And so I said, you know what? I'm just gonna watch this one from the sidelines. You know what? If it goes, it's good. I was just down like $800 on the day, and now I'm up 5,500. This was a really good turnaround, but I'm not gonna push my luck. So to see it resolve as nicely as it did is great. And this was even higher volume on the second breakout, indicating that people were watching it here. That was when it first popped up. And then more people saw it here. That was when I got in. And then even more people saw it here. So increasing volume. And now volume is tapering back down a little bit. And it'll be really interesting to see what this does later today. We're currently below the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. But if we refer back to SAEX yesterday, you'll see that this one was below the VWAP and then ended up squeezing up and making new highs in the afternoon and giving us some second opportunities today. Not that I did really well on them, but you know, still it's been volatile. So I would keep WINR on watch definitely for tomorrow. But remember, this is a stock that has some pretty big spreads. It's pretty volatile. It's on a daily chart, been beaten up for a while. And that's kind of nice because it gives us the opportunity for sort of a turnaround story. But, you know, a higher volume today than on probably looks like any other day in its trading history. By the end of the day, it'll definitely be over 1 million shares. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what it does tomorrow and even later today. But I'm going to switch gears here. It's 10:57. I've got a session here with one of our students coming up at 11. So I'm going to go do that, and I will see you guys all back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Again, those of you guys watching on Facebook, will upload this to YouTube so you can watch the video with my charts and everything and see clearly everything I was seeing. And yeah, hopefully we have another strong day tomorrow. Today is my 12th consecutive green day. So far, all green for the month of January. It's nice. It's a good way to start the month, building a little bit of a cushion. All right, so I'm gonna take off, and I will see you guys first thing tomorrow morning, 9:15. We'll do our pre-market analysis, and then we'll start trading as soon as the bell rings. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. Bye, everyone. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.